Guys, I just quit my job, or one of my jobs. I have two jobs now, but I just quit my job that was giving me the most money. I was getting paid like 25 an hour, but I knew I could get paid more for like less work, because that shit, bro. The reason why I quit is because every day I would show up there to work and I'd be like, fuck, I have to work, bro. And the whole time I was just like, bro, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this at all. And like, I felt trapped. Like, making the decision to quit was so hard. And on top of that, the manager was like sometimes rude to me, which was kind of weird. Dude was like bipolar. Like, at the end, he was like nice to me about quitting. Like, I don't get it. And he said he would like move me up to a server. I don't know. I already quit, so fuck it. Let's talk about the history of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was first born in 2008 during the global like financial crisis. A guy named Satoshi Nakamoto released a paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And it was basically just him explaining like the whole idea of Bitcoin and like, I don't know, bro. I'm going to interrupt this whole history lesson right here and say nobody knows who Satoshi Nakamoto was, which kind of raises red flags for people like investing in Bitcoin, because like people say that it was the government created it, even though the whole point of Bitcoin was supposed to be it's not tied to a government entity. But like, how the fuck is like one of the most like invested in things in the entire world? How do we not know who founded it? Like, you know? So that's why people like get suspicious when it comes to that. So yeah, nobody knows who Satoshi Nakamoto was, but there's a wallet out there that holds like a large percentage of like Bitcoin's like overall liquidity under the name Satoshi Nakamoto. So yeah. Anyway, so Bitcoin was born in 2009. The first like block ever added to the blockchain was mined. The blockchain is what Bitcoin is like ran on. It's like this whole system. Anyway, that was the first one. It was called the Genesis block. That's cool. And the first real transaction with Bitcoin in 2010, meaning like somebody buys something with Bitcoin, was a guy named Laszlo Heinzek. Something like that, bro, my bad. He actually bought two whole pizzas with 10,000 Bitcoin. In today's price, that Bitcoin would be worth millions, hundreds of millions of dollars today. And then further along, like as Bitcoin started to progress, it was in 2011 to 2013. The dark web at the time was like using Bitcoin for a lot of these like shady transactions, because Bitcoin is like super hard to track. It is overall just like an anonymous way of like paying for shit. So something like popular back then called the Silk Road, which is like this dark web like marketplace where you could just buy anything you want. Like, that's shady. You could buy like I don't know, cocaine and get it delivered to you. You could get like hookers probably delivered to your door. Like, all of this was mostly being bought and sold with Bitcoin. As the Fed like cracked down on Silk Road, there was a crash, but came back. In 2013, there was like a market surge. It went from about $13 in early 2013 to in late 2013 $1,000, which is fucking absurd. But then in 2014 there was like a market collapse with this like holdings company called Mt. Gox, I think it's called, MT period Gox, who was handling around 70% of Bitcoin's overall like trades. It collapsed after like 850,000 Bitcoins disappeared in like some hack, which is fucking absurd. I don't know how much I believe in Bitcoin after hearing that happening. After that happened, I mean, it's pretty obvious to say Bitcoin fucking got raped and absolutely went to the floor. So, but miraculously came up again in 2016 through 2017. There was a lot of like business interest and like institution interest in Bitcoin, because I guess like at this point investors started looking into crypto and the price just launched. Bitcoin rose from, at this point in 2016, from $1,000 to $20,000. Absurd. And then in 2018, after all this like hype, kind of like how there's like hype around the .com era, how there's hype right now with the AI shit and like everything's just going up. This was, I guess, the crypto hype era in 2016 through 2017. After that happened in 2018, Bitcoin crashed again. It went from $20,000 to $3,000, bro. What the fuck? But then in 2020, major institutions like in businesses started buying Bitcoin again. Tesla was like buying Bitcoin, and other companies like PayPal started allowing Bitcoin on their like service or whatever. And it reached a peak of around $69,000 in 2021. And on top of that, in 2021, El Salvador actually made Bitcoin a legal currency that you could use in their country. So yeah, that kind of gave some ground to Bitcoin Bitcoin as well, and actually became the first country to ever do that. So shout out to El Salvador. And in 2024, a bunch of big funds and shit started adopting Bitcoin ETFs, which basically means that they had like crypto funds or like Bitcoin funds, similar to how they have like real estate funds where they just hold a shit ton of real estate in this big fund and it's tracked. So BlackRock and Fidelity are just a few examples of big firms that are adopting these crypto funds. I don't know how I feel about Bitcoin, to be honest. I think it's a good long-term coin, but I don't know if it's a crypto ran by the people. I don't know if that's necessarily true, to be real with you guys. Who am I though? I'm just a guy in a fucking blue hoodie talking to you right now. Yeah, have a good day. Invest safely. See ya.